Good morning. Hey, where am I? Good morning. How are you? Ooh, I'm crooked again. Good morning. I see Tammy and Vicky and Kelly. I need a big magnifying glass. I do need a big magnifying glass. I'm getting old. Happy Monday. Coming to you live from the Hand Knitter Sunrise Studio. You can see that it's a sunny day out there. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. What would you like to talk about? I will tell you, yesterday I went to there was, I think it was the premiere of a locally made documentary about the, um, let's think of the word, destruction of a perfectly nice neighborhood in order to build 496, which is one of the branches off of the expressway that goes right through Lansing. And it's something called, well, there's something called redlining where um, lower income people are forced to live in certain places um, due to laws and regulations and things. And then when the highway system was being set up, they were routed through those lower income neighborhoods. And so there had been a thriving neighborhood here in Lansing that they put the expressway on top of. So they displaced a lot of people and tore down homes and businesses and eradicated that whole thing. And so the documentary was called Pave the Way. And the audience was full of people who remembered what it was like before. There were a ton of which was great to witness because they were all like, "Oh yeah, that was, so and so and Mr. So and so. I remember when the teacher was blah blah blah." And it was very joyful, actually, which in retrospect kind of surprises me. Um, yeah, I didn't know anything about that till just a little while ago. So things happened that we don't know about. Um, let's see. Good morning, Dawn. I am up to my armpits in one of the sweaters I'm knitting, so that's good. I have to wait until I get the second class going, the second session, because then everybody will be up to their armpits and we can all move on. But that was an accomplishment. So yay me. Pat, pat, pat. I'm going to work today. I will tell you that there's a clearance sale starting today. I didn't know if it had been advertised, but I saw an email come through that says clearance sale starts today. So if you're local, go to Woven Art and start buying yarn. Apparently, there's a clearance sale starting today. So, yeah, so I anticipate it's going to be really busy. I'm going to wear, I feel crooked today. I'm going to wear sleeveless. Oh no, Kelly, different class. Not that class. I'm still contemplating casting on also. Not the entrelac class. It's the seamless sleeveless sweater class. You're not in that one. Breathe. um, yeah, and your classmate is in the same spot that you are, and I'm still I swatched, but I'm like I don't know what I'm gonna make. I think I'm gonna make a pullover. Actually, I changed my mind, which is not the point of the class. The pullover. It's a cardigan class. But you know what? We get to make pullovers too. Um, yeah, breathe. Don't forget to breathe. So let's see. I bought a house yesterday. Oops. I'm like very confused. It happened really fast. I'm staying in town. Don't freak out. And I will tell you more about it later. But it's sort of all I can think about right now. I'm like, I can pack. It's time to pack. I know, right? What? I'll tell you more about it later. Um, yeah, yeah. That's all I can think about. So let's see. Um, I got nothing. I got to the armpit in that sweater, and I know, right, Dawn? It's like I'm a grown up. I don't know what happened. Very confident these days. Um, so I got to the armpits on that sweater and I set it aside. And I've been trying to be monogamous. A house. Hi, Lisa. Damn rabbit holes. It was a rabbit hole, but I'm not going to talk about it. I just had to say it out loud because it happened at like 8:30 last night. Um, I've been trying to be monogamous to my knitting things, but that's not usually ever successful. But I just concentrated on that. Um, Sleep. I've never bought a house before. Never. We built this house in '88. Um, I worked on this sweater until I put everything aside, which is not hard, but that's a lot of things, and worked on this sweater till I got to where I needed to stop. And then I'm like, well, what's in this bag? And found a bag of some ends to weave in. There's also a giant basket of ends to weave in. But when I went to Iowa a few weeks ago, recently, in the near past, um, I had packed a bunch of things to work on, and I was very hopeful that I would weave in ends in the car, which I did because my car mate made me. So I did weave in all the ends on one shawl, just so I could say that I did. Um, but in that bag also was my rocket tee, which I have worn a number of times, well, at least twice. That was all done, but I wished it was a little shorter and I wish the sleeves were a little longer. So the sweater is now shorter, I believe. Yes, and one of the sleeves is longer and the other sleeve is getting longer. So then I get to weave in those ends again, which is not as many as there were to start with. And then that'll be done. The wool and mohair sweater that I can wear now that it's July. um, so there's that. So that's I'm probably going to work on until it's done, which won't take long. I just need to, do it. And then I don't have anything, sorry, to my knowledge that I can just pick up and work on. I probably do. I mean, ends to weave in. But I'll get that sweater done. I don't know what I'll work on next. Oh, I could finish Starsky. That's a class I did last year or earlier this year. Recently. So I could finish Starsky. That's a big shawl collared cardigan that just needs to have the sleeve finished. So finish the sleeve on Rocket Tee, finish the sleeve on Starsky. There's a theme. Wonder if I can find any more sleeves to work on. Probably. Then I'll have to find something else. Yeah. So Mr. Mustache and Frankie, they might know something's going on because nobody came for their morning hugs. They came up to the bed this morning because, they want food. Obviously, I can give them food while I'm in bed. It's a little smudgy right there. But Frankie hasn't come up for his hugs for the last 2 days, and Mr. Mustache, I had kind of force hugged today, and he wasn't really happy about that. He never shows displeasure. I don't know where they are. They're not here. I'll let you know if they are. It's very cute, though, the last 2 days, probably more than that, but the last 2 nights when I go up to bed, they're on the bed waiting for me, which is hilarious because they don't sleep with me. As soon as I get in bed, they're gone. But they're like, this is where you're supposed to be next, Mom. Like, okay, I'm on my way. I think they wish I would go to bed earlier, but, you have to look on Zillow, and then you have to watch an episode of Midsummer Murders. And I didn't get very far on Midsummer Murders last night. And I don't really need to look at Zillow anymore. Although I'm sure no, I really don't need to look at Zillow anymore. So that's fun. Um, 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 I did go to the uh, post office yesterday, and it's too late to tell you this now. Was it yesterday? No, that was Sunday, so Saturday. So it's way too late to tell you this now, but postage has gone up. So they're like, "Do you need more stamps?" On Saturday, because that was the last day before the postage went up. And I'm like, "No, I don't, because I keep buying stamps thinking that I'll write people letters, and I don't. So I have a lot of stamps. So I should write people letters. Or start sending birthday cards again. Oh crap, my sister's birthday's coming up. Like, I don't have to hang those pictures I was going to hang, and I'm really sorry I just hung 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plants in my kitchen, because now there's 9 holes to fill. Thinking of sloughing off all kinds of stuff, like the dishes I was using, because they came from the marriage. Which I'm not bitter about. It's just like, why not just start fresh? I told my kids, I'm not going to talk about it, but I told my kids, and they're both excited, actually. I was very, very happy about that. I didn't know how they'd feel, but apparently they don't care. Oh, good, Mom. So I need to like put my gut in beer. Oh, though, no, I don't. I need to put my butt in gear. And, I found a guy at Liberty Coins. I haven't talked to him yet, but I have his name, and he's there on Tuesdays. So maybe this Tuesday to like, I have piles of crap to go through. You can't see the chaos that's right there, but this is chaos. Don't get me wrong, but there's chaos on the table. I'm surprised you can't see it in the reflection. Actually, coins, like foreign money from various trips that my children took, and my stamp collection. I'm ready to let it go, but I don't know how to do that. So I found a guy who does that, but I don't know how to. So this is stupid. Like, I'm not taking it to him because I don't know how to take it to him, because it takes up a lot of space, because it's in albums. It's in albums that I'm sure But if I need to call the guy or go see the guy or something, and then I'll know what to do. So that's a bunch I can get rid of, or I need to do. What else is happening this week? Going to dinner at Naomi's house on Wednesday. Oh, so there's an inspection on Wednesday, and I'm supposed to go to Naomi's house for dinner on Wednesday, and then I have my recovery meeting on Wednesday. So that's something in there. Probably dinner might have to not happen. So that's sad. I could move it to Tuesday. I'm invited every day of the week, so I pick a day every week. So I picked Wednesday. I could pick Tuesday. I could move it to Tuesday. I should do that. This is funny. So I have these 80s cabinets in my kitchen and my bathrooms, because this house was built in 1988. And I'm like haunted by them. When you shop on Zillow and you find a house, not shop, when you waste time on Zillow, which turns out not to have been wasted time, and you find a house that was built in the 80s, early 90s, and hasn't been updated, you're like, oh God, those cupboards have to go. And I'm like, well, wait, those are my cupboards. So in the basement of this alleged house that I allegedly purchased yesterday, they've made like a workbench out of those cabinets, so I'm not going to escape them. That's pretty funny. Shop Girl Monday. I don't know what's going to be on sale stuff, and the way the owner puts on sales, stuff will be added to it constantly, and prices will go down on things that have been sitting. So that's how it works. No idea what we're putting on sale. Usually it's things that have been discontinued, or colors that are discontinued, or there's usually shop samples. I know there's a bunch of shop samples that have that are that will be for sale. I'm pretty sure they've been out for a while. I'm sure they'll continue to be out. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And that reminds me, I need to find some yarn. I don't mean it that way. I know where I can find some yarn, but did I show you the Prairie Cat sweater? I don't think I talk about knitting on this morning thing too much. I'm making a sweater. It has cats on it. I started it on the trip to Iowa. That was also in the bag. I can't find it right now, which is a problem because it's basically a black sweater with green and black cats. We'll just leave it at that. And I thought it would be, I had the brilliant idea to make one row of the cats. It's a yoke sweater. One row of the black cats have sparkles. So I have some rainbow colored sequins that are getting knitted into that row. The green that I got is a color changing green. It goes from green to green to green to green. And I'm not sure, I think that's a little too much with the sequins to have color changing green and sequins. So something has to go, and I think it's the color changing green. So I want to find that. I have a box in the way, sorry. There they are. Kitty, 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 kitty. Hi. Oh, here comes Mr. Mustache. Maybe. Nope, just leaving. There you go. There's your sighting. One story. Laundry on the first floor. This is the house I will grow old in. The house I'm currently sitting in is technically 3 stories because laundry is in the basement. Yay, kitties. Yeah, they're no, the other one, Frankie. I only have 2. Like I couldn't call my kids by the correct name. Frankie will come over when I'm sitting on the couch and smash himself up against me and rub his head on me, and I will pat him almost everywhere. Not sure exactly where I'm not supposed to touch. Sometimes I can touch places and sometimes I can't. Meeting meow, meeting meow. But he's very snuggly, and then he'll look at me and go like, "Oh, what the hell?" And he'll run away. Like, "Oh, what's that person doing there?" And then he'll come right back. He'll just turn around and come right back and snuggle some more. So he's possibly mentally damaged somehow, and that's okay. I keep giving him his calming treats, and he likes them. So I don't know, but he's definitely improving, and he's still a work in progress. Mr. Mustache is chill as usual, except this morning he was not interested in his good morning hug. So our good morning hug consists of I'm sitting on the edge of my bed ready to take my medicine because I do that before I stand up. And the cats come up to me, and I'll pick Mr. Mustache up usually first, and I'll put him in my arms, and we'll look out the window that's at the head of the bed and look at the beautiful tree and the sunshine or whatever, and say, "Oh, look how well." I'll say, he doesn't. I don't know what he's thinking. What a lovely day it is, and it's going to be such a good day. And then I'll put him down. He'll lean into me and he'll look up at me, and I'll give him kisses. And I like to breathe in Mr. Mustache's fur, not really breathe in his fur, but like inhale in his fur. There's no aroma. It just makes me happy. And then he'll start going, "Okay, that's enough." And I'll put him down, and Frankie will be there, and I'll pick Frankie up and kind of hug him. He's usually, he often puts his head down, don't let anybody see me. But he's been letting me pick him up and hug him, kiss him, try to breathe him in. It's not distasteful. It's just not I don't know why I like to sniff Mr. Mustache, but the enjoyment I get out of that is not present with Frankie. So I'm confused about that. Maybe he's got defensive hormones or something. I don't know. Bipolar kitty is probably true. So I'll hug Frankie and give him a kiss on top of his head, and we'll look outside, but he's ready to go. But then he'll come smash himself up on my side while I take my meds. So, the place that I think I'm going to be sleeping later this year has a window I can put my bed up to and has lovely greenery outside. So we can continue the morning hugs. I'm sure the cats are thrilled to know that. You and the dog do headbutts. Ah, morning headbutts. Ah. Um, let's start the reading, shall we? The reading, the weekly. I keep putting my mug down, not on my coaster. Oh, I don't need to. Yes, I do need to. Hands, face. Nope. Face, hands. Oh, we're crooked. We can't have that. There's a ginormous studio with all kinds of shelving and light. Oh my gosh, you guys. There's a sunroom. There's no grass. Oh. 1, 2. There's a bomb shelter. I don't think we have the key. 3, I think. 4. Okay, you ready? So let's see what I can make of these cards. The dropped stitch. Okay. To me, the dropped stitch is, whoops, I did not mean to drop that stitch. But you can also make beautiful stitch patterns by dropping a stitch, or you could also fix mistakes by dropping a stitch. So it can be beautiful and or useful. This stitch has been dropped down 4 rows. Sorry, I say that because there were 4 ladders or rungs, R-U-N-G of a ladder. And then there's the stitch, so it needs to be brought back up 4 rows. So that's when we want to bring in the crochet hook, or it's being dropped down on purpose so that you have these ladders, or there's a, mysterious stitch down here that needs to be fixed, so we're dropping down to fix it, or there's a drop stitch down there. I don't know. So the drop stitch. That is a drop stitch, you goofball. So the drop stitch, most people would go, oh my gosh, I just hate it when I drop a stitch. I have to tear the whole thing out. Drop stitch boogie. Yeah, Clapotis, Clapotis is exactly what I was thinking of when I said that it can be a beautiful stitch pattern. There's a website called Knitty, KNITTY.com. I happen to be a patron of them on Patreon. And they've been around they're celebrating an anniversary. And it's got to be 20 years. Definitely more than 10. Wait, 20 years would be 1993? It may be. I can't do math with years. No, we're 2023. So it would be 2003. Maybe it's 30 years. I don't know. We could find out. Let's find out. Hang on. Here, I can get big and you can watch me do shit. Oops, where'd I go? There I am. I don't know what I clicked on. So let's type in Knitty, KNITTY.com, oops, or Oakham, depending on how you spell things. Since 2002. Oh, okay. So it is 20 years. 21 years. Well, there you go. I thought it was long. I thought it was in the 1900s, the old days. But it was, in fact, Kate Gilbert was the designer of Clapotis. Thank you. Yeah, there were names that were really like the prolific not prolific, the current designers who were current then. Kate Gilbert did a lot with Knitty. Cookie A did a bunch of really bizarre sock pattern, not bizarre, really cool sock patterns. Okay. So the drop stitch, look up Clapotis, Clapotis, if you want to see a beautiful use of the drop stitch. I've never made one, but I made did I? If I did, it was for a gift. I should make one. Anyway, oops. The knitworthy. So the knitworthy is someone who is worth knitting for, meaning they're not going to like throw it away or put it in the pile for St. Vincent's, or just put it in the back of a drawer and never wear it. Or it could be, so it's somebody who values what you've made for them. So you can see the person on the card is wearing a hand knit sweater. There's little my screen, little zigzag lines, which implies knit stitches or garter stitch, and they're wearing a hat. That implies, I mean, I'm assuming that's a hand knit hat, and they seem to be loving their shawl with the baubles on it, little baubles on the edges, or maybe it's a picot bind off. So once you find somebody you love who really appreciates your, Tammy's made 2 clappatees for her daughter and for herself. I don't have a daughter, which is fine. I have 2 lovely sons who were hilarious yesterday. It could also be you. You need to realize that you yourself are knitworthy, and you've probably made yourself things from time to time, but you've probably thought that was selfish knitting, or you've called it selfish knitting, but really you are knitworthy because you will appreciate the things. So, drop stitch and knitworthy. So you should stop and make yourself something beautiful because you are knitworthy. And the yarn bowl. Well, I'm going to have to pack up the yarn bowls, let me tell you that. The yarn bowl, I often think of as a luxury because we don't need yarn bowls in order to knit, but they make the job a little bit easier for different reasons. One is like this ball appears to have been wound without a center pull, but we really can't tell, but I'm going to assume it just looks, like a ball I would make that wouldn't have a center pull. You couldn't pull the strand out of the middle because when I just wind, it's rounder than when I stick my thumb in the middle and wind. What needs to be a t-shirt? Clappatee? That's an idea. So I'm thinking that that's not a center pull ball. So if you knit from that, when you pull on the yarn, that ball will roll all over the place. And if you have, a cat or 2, that's not super helpful for it to roll all over the place. So, you can put it in a bowl or a bag. You are knitworthy. That's what should be on a t-shirt. I am knitworthy. I like it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying what I should have already realized that you were saying. Yarn bowl can help keep the ball from rolling around so that the cats don't chase it, or it doesn't fall in a puddle, or your soup. I don't know. You could eat soup out of your yarn bowl, I suppose. There's a thought. And the reason that I think it's a luxury is when you need a yarn bowl, it doesn't have to be an actual yarn bowl. Like I said, it can be a bowl or a bag or the project bag you're using or your lap, really. So when you buy a yarn bowl, you are treating yourself because guess what? You're knitworthy. So yeah, I think that's a treat. You're buying yourself, or maybe perhaps it has been given to you as a gift because someone else thinks you deserve a luxury because you are knitworthy. So I'm going to go with, the drop stitch. So both of these to me are knitworthy. To me is, I always think of it as you should realize that you yourself are knitworthy. And this also, I'm saying, if you're buying yourself yarn balls, then you understand that you are knitworthy. So the drop stitch, which is our first card, so that should be the subject, is probably maybe a tentative maybe. We don't think of ourselves as knitworthy. We think of ourselves more as the drop stitch, the unfortunate, woe is me. And I'm here to tell you we need to change that around and say that it's opportunity to become a better knitter. It's us growing as we follow our path, and eventually, hopefully, the light bulb comes on and we realize that we are knit worthy. We deserve the good stuff. That's what I'm saying for today. No more woe is me talk. Yarn bowl talk is better. And let's see what the suggested interpretations of these cards would be. The drop stitch, anxiety, stress, self-destruction, sadness, suffering, depletion, frustration, a sense of unraveling, or deterioration. That's not positive at all. Depletion made me pause because I learned the phrase asset depletion this past weekend. It sounds dire. It feels dire. That's how you pay for a new house, is through asset depletion. The drop stitch, anxiety, stress, self-destruction, sadness, suffering, depletion, frustration, a sense of unraveling or deterioration. So that's sort of what I'm saying, is that that's how we think about a drop stitch, and that's often how we think about ourselves, and we need to get over that. I've come a long way. Most of it started with, well, it definitely started with getting sober, but look how far I've come. I now believe that I can have nice things like a new car and a new house, and I'm not afraid to do it. So that's my journey. The Knitworthy 24. Oh, right under the drop stitch. Look at that. A loved one in querent's life. We know that querent is the person who is asking the cards to tell them something. An object, so a loved one in querent's life, an object of affection or romantic interest, love and romance in general, emotional security. See, emotional security. Okay. That's pretty much what I said. Although it's not saying emotional security could be I'm going to read that as it's me. It's me. And then the yarn bowl is 19, which is before 20 something. Protection, guardedness, having a wall up, safety, cautiousness. Interesting, because to me, protection and guardedness and having a wall up, a lot of that is defensive, right? Yeah, I didn't go in that direction at all. I went with it's a luxury. Kelly is browsing Zillow to figure out what I may have purchased. I'll send you a link in a little bit. And Tammy says any accomplished knitter deserves anything other than plastic yarn. That is correct, although my friend Deb would say, unless I choose to knit with plastic yarn, and I would say, you do you. That is correct. Okay, it's 9:33. I'm going to go get ready for work and probably look at Zillow, see if it's changed status yet from for sale, see what it's going to say. And I will see you guys next week. I will be here. It's the Sunrise Studio next week. Things don't happen that fast. And I'll talk to you later. Thanks for being